something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me that I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Yeah, I know some people will probably complain that I'm repurposing that song. That was really a song about, that's about 60s and 70s protests, but, you know, there's something going down. There's all kinds of things going down, but something in particular, something that happened Friday that I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about, but then I ran over a thread on Twitter that kind of opened my eyes a little bit, because it's all public information, and it's going to be interesting to see what comes of this. But anyway, we'll get into that. After the intro. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, me, Marty, yours truly, also known as PDawg Night, as I am known on the internet. Welcome back to the PDawg Night channel. It is Monday, the 10th of August, 2020, and this is the 391st episode of the Morning Night Live. Just a programming note, a week from Friday, we're going to be celebrating our 400th It's our show. It's your show. It's my show. It's our show. And we'll be celebrating our 400th episode. So I'm looking forward to getting some friends on here and just chatting away. This Friday we'll do another call-in show. So if you want to do, it'll be your day, your topic, whatever you guys want to talk about, within reason. I've got the coffee ready. Here we go. The reparations coffee. In fact, if you got your coffee, pick up your cup. Let's do one of those. What's that guy? Scott, the Dilbert guy, whatever his name is. Let's do a simultaneous sip. Ah, yes. Very happy with the coffee today. All right. So, a lot going on this weekend. The president makes an executive order that the Democrats not kind of pissed about, but now they're coming to the table again. They're making their phone calls because you don't want the president to start, show you up, which he kind of did. Although let you know, I hate presidential executive orders. That's not how things work. But seems the Supreme Court allowed Obama and his phone and his pen do some things, and he let Bush and his phone and his pen do some things, and he let, what's his name, Billy Clinton. Now, I'm not happy about it. I think executive power needs to be reined in. I don't like this executive order thing, but it did have its intended effect. And now maybe, just maybe, some of the Congress critters will get their shit together. But anyway, but that's not even the news that I want to talk about. That's not it. There's some news that kind of got overlooked, and unless you were looking at local news in a couple different places. And so I ran across this thread on Twitter, and the sources are right out there. It's nothing like, none of this is in secret, but nobody's talking about it. Not even my favorite aggregator. And so we're going to go through that, and it has, you know what it has to do with? It has to do with some Ukrainian issues. Huh. And what the president did this weekend when he left town. And it's very interesting. So we're going to get into that in just a second. But first, of course, I got to say good morning to all my friends in the chat. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad you are all here. But first in the chat today was our good friend Kyra Alexander, who gets the bell if it works. Yes, it worked. Good morning, sir, and thank you for being here. Also, good morning to Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate, and also Mike Savage, Blarg. Good morning, John Sislowski. Nice to see you back, and welcome again. Aaron Meredith, how you doing? Good to see you. Select a boy.
Yeah, boy.
And also Chicago Mike, Amy in Connecticut, DI Freighter Watcher, Post Ghost. Nice to see you back. Welcome again. Good morning, Renee Mayette. How you doing? And I notice I say your name right every time now. It just rolls off my tongue like butter. Okay. Also, good morning, Katie DeSkate. And let's see who else is down here. We got Duck Dog. Good morning. Good morning to Jedi Ghost Bear. Nice to see you back. I know you come here occasionally. Sometimes you watch and lurk, and sometimes you make it into the chat. Good morning to Tyler F. also, and who says I'm he. I'm he. I'm he. Is that a pronoun? Why are you telling me your pronouns? Oh, I'm here. That's what you meant. I know what you meant. I'm just being silly. All right. So, let's talk about. Oh, good morning. Oh, that's what I was popped in too. But people rolling in slowly. I'm just glad y'all are making it. So y'all do your thing, right? So let's take a look at this thread. Oh, by the way, real quick, a couple thank yous. Thank you, Tyler F., David Schoen, who's Jedi Ghost Bear. Dang, this is frustrating. Oh, you sent me something. Sorry, I didn't think. What? Zach, a Christian minister, is either flatly lying here or too stupid to look because Orange Man's bad. I didn't. What is this? I'm just curious what you sent me here. Okay, so according to Bill Barr, BLM protesters are actually fascist Bolsheviks. Yeah, kind of are. Because it's easier for racists to believe that than the reality that racists like him exist. Oh, they're bitching about William Barr. Maybe we'll get back to that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'll open that a different tab. We'll get back to that later. Actually, I was just trying to say thank you, though, to the people who have been already retweeting the show. Please, if you would be so kind, click that share button. It's kind of down there. I always point the wrong direction. Or if you're on a mobile, it's up there. Okay, hit the share button, share it out, or you can follow me on Twitter, Mayans, Gab, or Parler. I am very active on Twitter, but I also have accounts on those other platforms in case you're not on Twitter. Some people aren't, some people don't like it, some people don't want to be there, and some people can no longer be there. So I'm also on all those platforms. I do notifications through that. Like the show if you like it, hit the like button, and then also donations and super chats are going to be through the Streamlabs link, or you can go to PDawg.live. It's up in the upper right hand corner of the page. It'll show up in the chat too. So if that's something you like to do and you'd like to help out the show in other ways that are a little more then you can do that. Good morning also to Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And also No Room for Squares. Good morning. Anyone else new that I haven't said hi to yet? I think I've said hi to everybody so far. I know some of you are out there lurking. Lurk away. If you drive, CNN Sucks, who now identifies as second. CNN Sucks, the most redundant name on the internet. All right, I want to get into this thread. What the hell did I do with it? Oh no, did I unbookmark it? No, it's down here somewhere. Here we go. Okay, so this is someone called Drawn Strike. Drawn Strike is a Twitter handle. He just does a lot of research. Purple Pill Perspective. How you doing? That's a name that I know you lurk here once in a while, but I've never seen you in the chat, I don't think. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. By the way, if you are lurking or just in the background watching and you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so that you get notifications, or you can follow me on one of those platforms up there. I do notifications there too. All right. let's get it going. Interesting. This is an interesting thread about some things that happened on Friday. Now, obviously, it was after my show, so we didn't talk about it then. But we're going to talk about it now because it's very interesting. So, in Ireland, the government made it illegal to not wear masks in shops and the like. Still won't wear the mask. Have lung problems. Okay, that's interesting. That's the same way here in Minnesota. You have to wear mask in any public business, and although I don't think you have to do it at home, but yeah, if you're in shops or businesses, you must wear masks. They have a mask mandate by decree by the governor, and I obey it. I do, whatever. It's just is what it is for now until the people who think they have absolute power decide that it's time to relinquish that power, probably after the election. Anyway, also good morning, quickly, stabbing Joe Scarborough, keeping them knives sharp. All right, let's get into this thread that I keep hinting at. Oh gosh, another notification. What's this notification? This one is, then just a like of the tweet. All right. All right, here we go. So the president on Friday left the White House. And it was interesting because the people were concerned, found it interesting because here's the picture. And this is I don't know who this Peg Gentle is, but this is a picture taken today when President Trump was boarding Marine One to travel to Ohio. I thought it was unusual that it appears the staff members were out watching him leave. I've never witnessed that before. Yeah, that is kind of interesting. Why is the entire White House staff coming out for the president to leave? The president comes and goes from the White House all the time, right? Well, the Draw and Strike says, you all know why Trump has left the we all know why Trump has now left the White House, being seen off by the entire White House staff before he traveled to Ohio, because he won't be back for a while. He's going to go to his resort in Bedminster, New Jersey, right? Well, sort of. Everybody focuses on Spygate and Obamagate or whatever, the new name some have adopted for the scandal. Step back and remember the big picture. What were Obama and company so desperate to keep hidden if Trump won election? Now, I can think of three things off the top of my head that Obama, Hillary, and Biden, and the whole lot of the D.C. swamp would be frantic to keep from being exposed. The first one is the Uranium One deal. Remember when they sold 25% of U.S. uranium stocks, placed them under direct control of Vladimir Putin and the Russians? That was one of the reasons why Hillary came up with this Russia strategy, because that was her weakest point in the election, right? Maybe you remember that, maybe you don't, but yeah, they sold they approved this sale to apparently someone who is our mortal enemy, to control 25% of uranium stocks. So massive. Now, he's saying here that massive bribes paved the way to get that deal done to sell out our country. People who took that dirty money are desperate to keep it buried. Now, that's speculation. I don't know if that's true or speculation. I'm not sure, but we'll continue. Second reason. Untold billions of dollars in the U.S. aid sent to corrupt foreign governments, where U.S. officials not only knew much of the aid was going to be stolen, that's kind of the par for the course these days, they also kept the money flowing in exchange for a couple $1 million kicked back to them in D.C. under the table. The third item. Remember that laptop? Zebulon Pike, how you doing? And Cynical Lindsay, how you doing? Remember that laptop? During this whole email kerfluffle, but remember? But her emails. Remember that? Remember that? Well, remember they found Anthony Weiner's laptop. Remember Anthony Weiner? You know him? Hillary's chief of staff or assistant's husband, Huma Abedin's husband, and they found thousands and thousands of Hillary's emails on that laptop, the laptop of a convicted sex offender, right? Not so secure, but there was even some classified information on that laptop. Well, remember the New York Police Department had that laptop first for some reason. I can't remember why, but Wiener's laptop, which is reported to have had stuff on it that caused veteran NYPD detectives to throw up. And then he adds a fourth. The secret side deals and bribery that went on to get the Iran deal done, as well as all the Obama White House spying on members of Congress opposed to the deal and reporters investigating illegal activity. So he speculates that something is about to happen. Trump needs to be in a tightly controlled environment while whatever this is goes down. A lot of people have access to the White House that will not have access to him at his private resort in Bedminster. Now, this weekend also, the Optima FBI raids in Cleveland and Miami 3 days ago sends a clear signal to the president's enemies that, yes, indeed, he and Barr and Rudy are going to see this through. They are really going to do it. They have not been bluffing. What is that? Well, those raids in Cleveland and Miami were directly linked to the Ukrainian corruption that caused at least $6 billion in U.S. taxpayer money sent to Ukraine to disappear. The two offices that were raided were involved in a massive amount of money laundering. And it turns out that the two of the Ukrainian oligarchs that ran private bank, it's the name of the bank, a large bank that got $1.8 billion in U.S. aid and lost it. They just disappeared. Laundered hundreds of billions of dollars through over a dozen shell companies and then used the laundered money to purchase real estate in Cleveland. Now, how do we know this? Well, for about a year and a half, ever since Rudy Giuliani revealed he was investigating the money trail of all this stolen U.S. aid in Ukraine, the Democrats and the DNC media roundly mocked and lampooned him, but it didn't stop anything. Here's the article. Wait a minute, let me close a couple windows here. Here's the article from the Cleveland.com. Is it the Cleveland Plain Dealer? I don't know. Ukrainian oligarch. Oh, let me get it on the screen so you can see all of it. Ukrainian oligarch at the center of Cleveland raid, described as ruthless businessman who laundered millions. Records say, wow, this doesn't say people close to the situation says or anonymous source says. This says the records say that. Well, that's good. There are records. So here we go. FBI and IRS agents Tuesday seized box loads of evidence that could determine whether the Ukrainian oligarch Igor Kolomoisky laundered millions of dollars through Cleveland real estate. A long-running investigation into Kolomoisky went public for the first time when the agent searched the offices of Optima Management Group in One Cleveland Center at East 9th Street and St. Clair Avenue. Agents in Miami also searched a business there involving the company. Authorities in Cleveland told the Plain Dealer and Cleveland.com last year that authorities have been involved in a wide-ranging investigation involving Kolomoisky, whom one analyst called one of Ukraine's most controversial figures. Kolomoisky is a principal of the Privat Group, or that bank, a large Ukrainian business company. Principals of the business also part of Optima. In a lawsuit filed last year in Delaware. Delaware? Wait a minute. Delaware. Who's from Delaware? A lawsuit filed last year in Delaware, Kolomoisky was accused of laundering hundreds of millions of dollars through real estate holdings in the United States. FBI agent Vicki Anderson and IRS agent Craig Casserly declined to discuss the case. Joel Samuels, a law professor at the University of South Carolina who's focused on international law, said the investigation underscores the aggressive approach that federal authorities have taken involving examinations into possible money laundering. The government has been far more vigilant in going after funds than it was 20 years ago from the former Soviet Union and other countries around the world, said Samuels. And then the investigation in Cleveland centers on Optima Management Group, a company that had a much larger... Oh, did I just burp? Oh, my God. I'm sorry. A much larger presence in Cleveland. Wait, I lost here. Much larger presence in Cleveland about a few years ago, according to lawsuit interviews. Today, the company has one Cleveland Center where the raid took place and 55 Public Square, an office building. It also has an interest in West Cleveland. So, okay, so they're saying that this has something to do with money laundering. Now, down here, interesting. The lawsuit. So we're going back to that lawsuit in Delaware, though. The lawsuit in Delaware alleges that Kolomoisky and others formed a private bank in the early 1990s. The government took control of it in 2016 after authorities suspected large-scale fraud, according to the lawsuit and published reports. From 2006 through 2016, Kolomoisky and others used Private Bank as their own personal piggy bank, ultimately stealing billions of dollars from Private Bank and using United States entities to launder hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Private Bank's misappropriated loan proceeds, according to the lawsuit. The bank filed the lawsuit in an attempt to reclaim the lost funds. The money laundered in the United States was ultimately used to acquire and support various United States businesses and commercial real estate in Cleveland, Ohio, Dallas, Texas, and elsewhere, the suit says. Now, it's funny because down here lower in the article, they mentioned, where is that? Where did they mention Rudy Giuliani? Because there's what was it? Oh, here we go. So the lawsuit in the Atlantic Council said he spent time, this is talking about Kolomoisky, who became the governor of Oblast, whatever that is, a province in central Ukraine. 2 years later, the private bank became nationalized and Kolomoisky fled. The lawsuits and the Atlantic Council said he spent time in Switzerland and Israel. The lawsuit speculated that he has returned to Ukraine. Last year, he refused to set up a meeting with President Trump's ally, Rudy Giuliani, and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky in an attempt to find political dirt against Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden. Now that's funny that they had to throw this in here at the end of the article. I'm surprised they didn't put it in the beginning. And then Kolomoisky's attorney declined to discuss the rate. So anyway, yes, this is what he's talking about when he's talking about the dealings in Ukraine. Now, let's keep going. So let's review what happened over the last 3 days. Trump's enemies got a huge tripwire tripped from two simultaneous FBI raids targeting the private bank stolen money laundering trail in Cleveland and Miami. Trump travels to Cleveland, poses in front of laundering machines. Remember, before he went to his resort, he went to Cleveland and he's posing in front of some washing machine factory. He's so funny. He just telegraphs things so much. And Trump then says this while standing in front of those laundry machines in Cleveland. And listen to this.
It has to be a good product, but the middlemen. Well, the rebate that I'm doing cuts out the middlemen and it reduces costs, and the money goes back to the people purchasing the drugs. So I have a lot of enemies out there. This may be the last time you'll see me for a while. A lot of very, very rich enemies, but they are not happy with what I'm doing. But I figure we have one chance to do it, and no other president's going to do what I do. No other president would do a favored nations, a rebate, a buy from other nations at much less cost. Nobody. It has to be a good
Okay, so that's...
middleman.
But he's at a washing machine factory. It's just hilarious. Anyway, so Trump doesn't go back to...
Well, the rebate that I'm doing
stop
cuts
this.
out
Hang
the
on.
middleman.
There we go. All right, so Trump then doesn't go back to the White House. Turns out the staff came out to see him off before he left Cleveland because nobody's going to be seeing him for a while. And then he supposedly left Cleveland for his Bedminster resort in New Jersey. While Trump was appearing in Cleveland yesterday, there was a lawsuit filed. Something gets filed by the DOJ to seize assets private bank purchased with its laundered money in Kentucky and Texas. So here's this for immediate release from the Justice Department. Listen to this. The United States filed 2 civil forfeiture complaints today in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida, alleging that commercial real estate in Louisville, Kentucky, and Dallas, Texas, both acquired using funds misappropriated from private bank in Ukraine, are subject to forfeiture based on violations of federal money laundering statutes. Acting Assistant Attorney General Brian C. Rabbit of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. Oh, let me do this real quick. Make it a little bigger there. Of the Justice Department's Criminal Division, U.S. Attorney Ariana Fajardo Orshan of the Southern District of Florida, U.S. Attorney Justin E. Herdman of the Northern District of Ohio, and Special Agent in Charge Eric B. Smith of the FBI's Cleveland Field Office made the announcement. And I'll just get to the complaint. We'll keep going. The complaints allege that Ihor Kolomoisky and Gennady Boholibov, something like that, who own Private Bank, one of the largest banks in Ukraine, embezzled and defrauded the bank of billions of dollars. The two obtained fraudulent loans and lines of credit from approximately 2008 to 2016 when the scheme was uncovered and the bank was nationalized by the National Bank of Ukraine. The complaints allege that they laundered a portion of the criminal proceeds using an array of shell companies' bank accounts, primarily at Private Bank's Cyprus branch, before they transferred the funds to the United States. As alleged in the complaint, the loans were rarely repaid except with more fraudulently obtained loan proceeds. As alleged in the complaints, in the United States, associates of Kolomoisky and Bogolyubov were Chai Korf and Uriel Labor, operating out of offices in Miami, created a web of entities, usually under some variation of the name Optima, to further launder and misappropriate funds and invest them. They purchased hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate and businesses across the country, including property subject to forfeiture, the Louisville office tower, known as PNC Plaza, and the Dallas office park, known as the former CompuCom headquarters. The buildings have a combined value of approximately $70 million. Okay, and then they go on and on and on about that. So as we continue in this thread, of course, all of the real estate the private bank money was used to buy in Cleveland and Miami will also end up being seized. Now you know why Trump has been carefully setting up asset forfeiture for the past 3 years. I'm not a fan of asset forfeiture, but whatever. And they had there's an article about how Ukrainians became the largest real estate owner in Cleveland. Another article, I'll just put that one in the chat. You can read that one on your own. I'm not going to read the whole thing, or I'm not going to read any of it actually. But it kind of goes through some of the same details. And the complaint also. So understand, this is clearly, up until 3 days ago, a lot of the people involved in this massive worldwide corruption were likely telling themselves Trump wouldn't dare try this. The repercussions would be far too great. He would know they would come after him in sheer desperation. And with those raids and that very first of many asset forfeiture filings by the DOJ yesterday, these people now know the truth down to the marrow of their bones. Trump is going to do it. He's really going to do it. He, Barr, and Rudy are pulling the pin on this grenade. Good morning. Hey, Larry. What's up? How you doing? Why is my anti-super spyware update keep popping up? Okay. Oh, and good morning, Richard Cranium, too. So, and now the pin has been pulled. The Democrats and the GOP involved, the foreign leaders out there involved, and the media, they all know where that grenade is being tossed. It's in the air right now, coming towards them. Now, do not underestimate the desperation and sheer viciousness these people would descend into in their attempts to do whatever it takes to keep that grenade from landing in their midst and going off and completely exposing them. Now, he puts an addendum down here, too, that I found interesting. Everything I used in this thread is publicly available information. They're from articles and everything from the DOJ, etc. It's just that the mainstream media, which affectionately refers to it as which he affectionately referred to as the DNC media complex, will never put this together. They have a vested interest in hiding it. Let's see, I'm going to skip this. This talks about him living in Texas. He's just a guy in Texas in his apartment who likes to read a lot. The people who spent months viciously mocking Rudy Giuliani for his Ukraine fantasies, you think they want to explore what those Optima, Ukraine, private bank, Biden, Kerry, Obama raids in Cleveland and Miami point to? All the billions in missing money, some of which was laundered here in the U.S. They don't want any of this to be happening, much less cover it on their news, so-called news. CNN sucks, that's redundant. Network, good morning, Johnny Hellcat. They don't want to cover it on their news networks and websites or newspapers and magazines. But it is happening. Rudy wasn't crazy. They have the evidence, followed the money laundering trail from Ukraine to Cleveland to Miami. And over the next several weeks, you're going to be seeing a lot of assets being seized around the world, some in the U.S., some in Europe, and elsewhere. The real estate being seized by the DOJ in Louisville, Kentucky, and Dallas, Texas, will be joined by buildings in Cleveland and Miami. Now, he just makes a disclaimer. I'm not a genius. I just follow the news from multiple sources, sometimes as many as 24 in a day. So, basically, it's going to be hidden. Now, my question to you. Does this really mean anything? Ukraine, money laundering, lost money, millions and billions of dollars, gone missing. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It sounds fascinating to me. It doesn't sound like, he shows us his work here. I mean, there are a lot of articles linked that I didn't open up there, but he definitely shows his work. It is fascinating. It is fascinating. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's happening in our world. So in Portland, where the promise to have the feds back off has calmed things down immensely. Oh, God. Who am I kidding? Ryder stormed Portland neighborhood yelling, "We know where you live. We're going to burn your building down." Yes, in Portland, the home of the peaceful protests, rioters stormed a neighborhood in Portland on Saturday and appeared to threaten residents that were inside a building. Journalist Andy Ngo, who recently testified before the why do they always have to tell us that he testified before the U.S. Senate? Tweeted a video of the incident. As Antifa have taken to Portland residential areas to riot, they've also assaulted and intimidated residents there. Tonight, they threatened those who looked out the window. "We're going to burn your building down," one person shouts. "We know where you live." Oh, that would be the fire of peace that they're working with. I know they're trying to be so peaceful and so I've never put it out in my guard. Okay, our aid money was being laundered through Ukraine. Yeah, it was. It's exactly, Renee Bayette. I hope God doesn't get... Okay, wait a minute. I missed something here. Okay, all right. So, yeah, here it is. We're going to burn your building down. We know where you live. Here's the peaceful protesters. The
Hi, Linda. Looks like you've got a prescription for that. Any idea how much that's going to cost me? The exact same drug that's $10 at this pharmacy.
Well, anyway, sounds like the Daily College dropped it down to me somewhere.
Finds prices.
Anyway.
Black Lives Matter! We're gonna burn your building down.
Oh, there they go. Oh, we're gonna burn your building down. So now I gotta think. At some point,
when we started
where
our
the fuck's
company,
this ad coming from?
we simply wanted
Where
better
is it?
sheets.
Is it on this
But
site?
along the way, we've realized that softer, safer,
Where the
organic
fuck
cotton
does that come from?
does so much more for the
Is that
planet and for humanity.
Okay,
It helps your home become a
does something
force for
the
good.
planet and humanity.
Because
I don't
home
know
is more than just an
where-
address.
I don't know. I only have
Home is
one
our
window
soul.
open, so there's no place
Bowl
to
and
put
branch,
ads.
organic sheets, bath, and
There's
home.
nothing.
Right
what
now,
the
try for
fuck is
30.
this? Okay, it's gone. Anyway, so this is just kind of a timeline. The incident came amid far-left attacks on law enforcement officials in Portland and on police.
Jim and Joanne are here to pick
for
up the
fuck's
same
sake.
prescription.
Hang on. I'm going to mute this site. It may be here. Did that do it? Yes, that did it. It must be way down here somewhere. Okay, fuck that shit. Anyway, the incident came amid far-left attacks on law enforcement officials in Portland and on a police union building, which was set on fire. Oh my gosh, they just... You know, every night in Portland, they put out flyers at all the light posts and on the corners and on the buildings. They put out flyers, right? And they tell their friends that we're going to have a weenie roast. And then they go make a nice little campfire somewhere in the city every night. Now, of course, they forget. Yeah. Septus Wolf. Yeah, Black Lives Matter and organic cotton, interesting combination. Yeah, that was a poorly timed commercial. But they they make their little bonfire and they get out their sticks and weenies and they do the weenie roast thing and then the police shut them down. Anyway, the Portland police said in a statement around 6 p.m. a group began to gather at Peninsula Park, located at the 700 block of North Rosa Parks Way. The group grew to a few hundred people while listening to speakers for almost 4 hours. They sit out there 4 hours every night. Oh, and you got to watch some of these. It's amazing. If you watch these on what's the site called? I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. No. Eyes On, EYESON. It has a little blue avatar because there's more than one Eyes On channel, but this one has a little blue eyeball in an avatar. I probably could put the link out there. The group was peaceful, and the PPB, which is the Portland Police Bureau, I guess that's called, did not interact with them. Then around 9:50, the group began marching to the west in the direction of the Portland Police Association office located on the 1800 block of North Lombard Street. As the group marched toward the PPA office, support vehicles escorted them. See, they have 3 support vans that supply food and extracurricular items that might help them if they get into a little scuffle. You know how that works. Those vans, the support vehicles that were escorting them, were illegally blocking all other vehicle traffic. But the group did remain peaceful to that point. Now, as I read this, think about how this is basically what happens every single night in Portland for the last 71 days, but just I'll keep going. By 10:30, the large group reached the PPA office. As the group approached, Portland police began making public address announcements informing the crowd that they were not to engage in criminal activities. People within the crowd committed crimes when they erected a fence, pushed dumpsters into the street to block traffic, set a dumpster on fire. That's another thing. They love dumpster fires. They are a dumpster fire, but they love the literal dumpster fires, and I'm using literal in the actual way the word literal is supposed to be used. Because I literally busted all my arm up when it's just a bruise. That's not literal. But anyway, in this case, I used literal correctly. And they vandalized the PPA office with spray paint and destroyed security cameras. At 11:35, people within the crowd broke windows to the PPA office, unlawfully entered, and attempted arson. They set the bitch on fire. Due to the criminal activity within the crowd, PPB, the Portland Police Bureau, declared a riot and gave repeated public address announcements for the crowd to disperse, just like every night in the last 70 days. PPB restricted access to the area surrounded by North Kirkpatrick to North Buffalo streets and North Omaha to North Interstate avenues, pursuant to Portland City Code Provision 14330100125986586753009. All people, including members of the press and legal observers, were ordered to leave the area immediately by traveling to the north. Crowd members were told that failure to adhere to this order may subject them to arrest, citation, or crowd control agents, including but not limited to tear gas and or impact weapons. Officers from the Oregon State Police Department and PPB arrived in the area to disperse the crowd. They were met with a hostile crowd who began throwing glass bottles and paint balloons at them. The hostile crowd also tried to injure officers by shining green lasers into their eyes. Now, these green lasers, have you seen these? You can buy them for like $80 on Amazon, and they are very powerful lasers. And directed at someone's eyes, they've already had 3 officers who may have lost their sight permanently because of these stupid fucking lasers. So they're not like a pointer you used in an office meeting. They're very powerful. Anyway, which is a crime in Oregon. That is a crime in Oregon. 3 officers suffered injuries. 2 were transported to the area hospital by police vehicle and later released. Personnel from the Portland Fire and Rescue were able to gain access to the location and extinguish the fire inside the PPA office. While officers were moving riders, they came upon areas of the street where riders built barricades with street closure signs, picnic tables, and other types of material. That happens every night too. In fact, they kind of were building another Chaz, sort of, but only in Portland this time. Riders on the other side of the barricade were hurling objects at officers. At that point, officers were able to get around the barricade and continue to push the riders away from the closure area. About 300 riders then gathered in Kenton Park. So this is just the same nightly BS that these it's like I said, it's rinse and repeat every night, over and over and over. It's just insane. All right, moving on. Let's see. Let me find a good one here. Oh, this is interesting. Here's one more reason to respect and love the brave men and women of the Portland Police Bureau. Well, let's read this one. This one says that they're using Alinsky tactics on the rioters. Now, should be interesting. Okay, so here's one more reason to respect and love the brave men and women of the Portland Police Bureau. Standing up for 72 straight nights of riots, destroying formerly lovely downtown of Oregon's largest city. They've not only kept their sense of humor, one among them is applying Alinsky tactics to the thugs. Watch and listen to the video in this tweet. Well, do I really want to do that? Okay, here, let's see what they're talking about here. Oop, now it's still loading, that's why. Hang on, let's see. Many male PPB officers detaining a female protester and patting her down with no female officers present. Oh, yeah. This is the one that I saw somebody played this the other night. And they were laughing about it. Got some people a little heated though. Come on, play. Here, I'll make it bigger here. So listen carefully. All the way up, it's all the way up.
Is there a female officer present to do this? Good question. Is there a female officer present while you're patting her down?
What's that?
Do you have a female officer present while you're patting her down?
Nope. How do you know that I don't identify as a female? You good? Yep. Fucking smart ass.
Did you hear that? So so the officer is they're checking for weapons on a female, and there is no female officer present apparently. And so they asked her, is there a female officer present while you're patting her down? He's like, how do you know I don't identify as a female? Now someone told me that someone there's a woman who is totally out there, left-wing commie type, but even she in the response to this was saying, well, these people shouldn't have assumed those officers' gender. So I thought it was funny. Oh yeah, that should get a there you go. Anyway, as my colleague, okay, let's see. Rule number 4. Here's the Alinsky tack that they were applying. Rule number 4: make the enemy live up to its own book of rules. Rule number 5: ridicule is man's most potent weapon. And rule 6: a good tactic is one your people. A good tactic is one your people enjoy. So, hang in there, Portland Police. Poor guy. Okay, here's a question of the day. And I honestly don't know the answer to this question. So we're seeing the demonstrations, sometimes riots, sometimes looting, sometimes always peaceful to that one point when someone decides, hey, let's go break some shit. Do you think, who do you think this benefits more from a political standpoint? And I'm not going to even give you options. I'm going to let you choose your own options. So who does it help? So if you write an answer to help, just put help dash name or entity. And if you're going to say who it hurts, put hurt dash name or entity in the chat. Okay. So if you think this is helping somebody, and please only put one answer per chat. You can put as many as you want, but put one per chat so I can kind of go through these. Who do these riots, demonstrations, things, whatever, who does it help? Who does it help? Help dash name or entity. Who does it hurt? Hurt dash name or entity. I'm just curious what you guys think, because I have some Johnny Hellcat. By the way, hi Johnny Hellcat. I see you there. And good morning to Check Your Logic. Amy in Connecticut. Who else has shown up? Cynical Lindsay, what's up? Oh, you walked away. You're not there. Oh, you were there, but you're not now. Well, so welcome to the gayest person on YouTube. I think I'm catching up here. Johnny Hellcat. If we had corners, well, I wouldn't put you there because you are my first and longest time viewer. Greta Thunberg. How does it help Greta Thunberg?
How dare you?
Oh my gosh. Helps Trump, hurts everyone. Yeah, it does hurt everyone. It boy, talk about making some divisive shit go on. Help white joggers. No. I'm just curious because you see now too, there are hints that the Democratic leadership is starting to get some wind of what's happening with this. And you see things like Chuck Schumer talking about we need to open the schools right away, right? Remember it was the Democrats? It was completely against opening schools. They want to keep everything closed as long as possible, and all of a sudden Chuck Schumer's out of the blues like, oh no, we need to open the schools. Where'd that come from, Chuck? But also you're starting to see at least a Democrat here and there start to like criticize the protest. Like even the mayor in Seattle, what's her name? Jenny something. She's kind of changing her tune here and there, even though she still blames it all on Trump. But there's no federal people around doing this shit anymore. And Portland especially. Now, you notice that you don't hear about Portland in the news, even though 72 nights straight of this shit, right? You just don't hear about it. You heard about it when it was something to do with the feds because those are Trump's stormtroopers, right? Not what? Now all of a sudden Portland doesn't exist anymore? Helps Trump. Okay. Let's see. White joggers help Trump. Hurts Democrats. I tend to agree with that a little bit. It's like Democrats say that's not happening, but all these people, you can see it. And people don't always, the other part is so many people don't get their news from the news, like CNN or Fox or whatever. I mean, Fox, look, Fox is the most watched network in all of TV now. Okay. And that's only about 4 or 5 million people a night. That's such a tiny fraction of where people get their news from. But guess what? So many people can just go on the internet and go, oh, whoa, look at that. Whoa, look at that. Whoa, look at that. They're getting this. It's got to be hurting somebody. Let's see. Someone else says hurts Jerry Nadler. Yeah, Jerry Nadler. Yeah, Jerry Nadler, right? Jerry Nadler. It's a myth. It's a myth. That's a myth made up in Washington. Only people in Washington talk about that. When was the last time I was in Washington? I haven't been to Washington, D.C. since 1976. I'm obviously not getting this information in Washington, Representative Nadler. Hurts Nadler. Let's see who else. Hurts workers. Oh my gosh, it absolutely hurts workers. It hurts American citizens. Yeah, you're right. Septive Wolf. Good morning, Sapphire Dragon. How you doing? Helps commies. Does it help commies? Do they really think that people are starting to be on their side? Maybe in Portland. I mean, Portland's a super leftist city. I want to talk to the holidays about this because the holidays have been very supportive of these assholes, and they, when it was all about the Antifa versus the Patriot Prayer that always came in, and they always took their side. But you gotta wonder. Well, I just have to go check his Twitter feed. I've been ignoring him for a while. Let's see. Yes, okay. Let's see. Lori Ledhead is now on the warpath. Oh, yeah, Chicago. We'll get to that in a second because, yeah, Chicago had some activity yesterday. All right, let's move on. Let's see. I wanted to find that one. In fact, I think what did I do with that? Yeah, yesterday in Chicago, apparently there was a police shooting that caused unrest in Chicago. Unrest, and I don't even know the details. Let's see. Unrest Chicago. So AP police say more than 100 arrests were made in Chicago after a night of looting and unrest. Oh, I love that word. Unrest. That is such a great description. Helps pew pew sales. Yes, it does help pew pew sales. Holy shit. They're talking about schools because Trump wants to give school funding to parents because schools are closed. They want to keep lining their pockets. Oh, purple pill perspective. You are spot on. Good morning, Sean. How you doing? Spot on, purple pill perspective. All right, so here's the AP article, and I love using the AP because they use such gentle language describing the thing, but it's kind of hard to be gentle when the scene looks like does this fit on the screen? No, I got to do it the full screen. When the scene looks like this. More than 100 arrests, 13 officers hurt amid Chicago looting. More than 100 people were arrested Monday following a night of looting and unrest. Okay, what's the more descriptive word? Rioting. That left 13 officers injured and caused damage in the city's upscale Magnificent Mile shopping district and other parts of the city, authorities said. Now, the Magnificent Mile, that, if you're not familiar with Chicago, the Magnificent Mile is that's where the big boys play, okay? That's where you got Gucci has a store, and Burberry has a store, and Dolce and Gabbana, whatever that's called. All the super high-end, the high-end places to shop are in the Magnificent Mile. It was funny because I was watching one video. So it's some guy doing live streaming during this riot, and they're running around, they're breaking windows of the stores, going in, looting the stores, and the dude carrying the camera, live streaming at the time, he's like, "Oh man, I gotta go get me a Burberry hat." like they're just on a shopping trip, and he's got to go remember to pick up a Burberry hat, but he saw the Burberry store, like, I gotta go get me a Burberry hat. It was hilarious. Anyway, good morning, MC.
Hammer time.
What's up, my friend? Okay. So anyway, the dude's like, I gotta go get me a Burberry hat. It was hilarious. Police Superintendent Dave Brown said it was not an organized protest, but instead an incident of pure criminality. Oh, really? That began following the shooting of a person by police the previous day in the city's Englewood neighborhood, which is a very, very dangerous neighborhood right now. That's where there's major gang activity in that area. At one point early Monday, shots were fired at police and officers returned fire. So I never got the details of the shooting. So anyway, shots were fired at police and officers returned fire. Brown said a heavy police presence is expected in the downtown area until further notice. This is where Mayor Lightfoot finally is just pissed off, because now you're in the money area. They're tearing up the big money area. This was straight up felony criminal conduct, said Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. This was an assault on our city. Those arrested were expected to face charges including looting, disorderly conduct, battery against police. Lightfoot said that the city has activated a neighborhood protection program that will be in place for foreseeable days until we know our neighborhoods are safe. So much for defunding the police. And you know what? They shouldn't be defunding the police. They need more police. That's my opinion. Now, if there's some fuckheads in that force, get rid of the fuckheads. But you need more police. You need more, not less. Those are okay. No officers were injured in the shooting. Police spokesman Tim Ahern said on Twitter, many of the businesses that were ransacked had recently opened after Chicago protests of George Floyd's May 25th death in Minneapolis devolved into chaos. That's a lightly used term. The unrest. I'm laughing at the word unrest over and over and over. Holy shit. Hi, Chi-Town Jay. The unrest began shortly after midnight, and anti-police graffiti was seen in the area of the Magnificent Mile, which is one of Chicago's most visited tourist attractions. Hours earlier, dozens of people had faced off with police after officers shot and wounded a person Sunday in the Englewood neighborhood located about 10 miles away. Brown said after a crowd dissipated following that shooting, "We are monitoring social media and we come across a post of a caravan of cars being prompted to go to our downtown and loot." Okay, I guess that's a form of protest. Along the Magnificent Mile, people were seen going in and out of stores carrying shopping bags. They brought their own shopping bags full of merchandise as well as at a bank. Oh, they looted a bank too? Great. Isn't that special? The Chicago Tribune reported, and as the crowd grew, vehicles dropped off more people in the area. On the streets throughout the downtown area, empty cash drawers from stores were strewn about and ATMs were ripped open. You know how hard it is to get into an ATM? It's really hard. I remember when we went down to the the area where the protests were happening in Minneapolis a few days, the weekend. It was like the weekend after George Floyd was killed. We went down there the following weekend, me and Lady Boomer, we went down to see what was going on down there. My son was down there. We had to drop some stuff out his place. And then we went down to where the protests were, right? And there was a protest going on, and we hung around there. But, all the burned buildings, there was a Wells Fargo bank there. And there was an ATM destroyed at Wells Fargo. Those aren't even, you need like sledgehammers and shit to open a fucking ATM. That's some serious shit. Anyway, stores miles from downtown were also ransacked, with parking lots littered with glass and items from inside the stores. Clothes hangers and boxes that once contained television sets and other electronics were seen, evidence that thieves had taken racks of clothes and removed them from the hangers. This was obviously very orchestrated. The Reverend Michael Flager. You know who that is, don't you? He's that Catholic priest, total leftist Catholic priest. This is obviously very orchestrated. The Reverend Michael Flager, a prominent Roman Catholic priest and activist on the city's south side, told WBBM TV as cameras panned the downtown area. One officer was seen slumping against a building. Several arrests were made, and a rock was thrown at a police vehicle, the newspaper said. Police worked early Monday to disperse the crowds. There was a large police presence Monday morning outside an Apple store located north of Chicago's downtown area, blocks away. Debris was strewn in parking lots in front of a Best Buy and a large liquor store. Train and bus service into downtown was temporarily suspended at the request of public safety officials, the Chicago Transit Authority said on Twitter. Bridges over the Chicago River were lifted, preventing travel to and from the downtown area, and Illinois State Police blocked some expressway ramps into downtown. Access was being restored later Monday morning. Chicago and its suburbs, like many other cities, saw unrest following the death of Floyd. Chicago's Central Business District and its commercial areas were shut down for several days after violence erupted and stores were damaged in the wake of the marches protesting Floyd's death. Floyd, a black man, as if we didn't know that Floyd was a black man, who was handcuffed, died while a white police officer pressed his knee against Floyd's neck for nearly 8 minutes, as Floyd said he couldn't breathe from the fentanyl and meth in the system. Anyway, in the Sunday shooting in Englewood, police said in a statement that they had responded to a 2:30 p.m. Sunday, about 2:30 p.m. Sunday, to a call about a person with a gun, and tried to confront someone matching his description in the alley. He fled from officers on foot and shot at officers, police said. They need just saying what they said. That doesn't mean they have evidence, but it's certainly feasible in the Englewood neighborhood of Chicago, which is just a major gang area in Chicago. Good morning, Edsker. How you doing? Officers returned fire, wounding him, and the gun was recovered. He was taken to a hospital for treatment, and 3 officers involved were also taken to the hospital for observation. So this isn't even someone who got killed. This is a guy who shot at them. They shot back, injured him. He's in the hospital. He's alive, but let's go loot the Miracle Mile, because, we got to have an excuse to loot the Miracle Mile, and now we have one. God, good God. Awesome. Let's go. Come on. Well, it'll show up. It'll probably be my sound effects are delayed again. More than an hour after the shooting, police and witnesses said a crowd faced off with police after someone repeatedly told people that police had shot and wounded a child. So somebody, police shot and wounded a child. So that got him wound up. That crowd eventually dispersed. All right. Well, that's how that unrest unrest. That's how unrest happened in Chicago. Hey, there it is. I might get another one too. Good God. Anyway, let's see. I'm running out of time here. Well, let's see. I want to talk. I really wanted to talk about some coronavirus news. There's all kinds of coronavirus news, but I'm going to skip that for today. Tomorrow we'll do a whole day of coronavirus news tomorrow. There's a whole lot to talk about. Unless anything major happens today, we'll dedicate tomorrow to coronavirus. Oh, there we go. Our first super chat of the day. Wow, we're an hour into the show. And we have our first super chat of the day. And it's greatly appreciated from Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Thank you, sir. $2 says, and Black Hebrew Israelite says, quote, they were peaceful.
That's right.
Yes, they were peaceful. Thank you for the $2, sir. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. And if you'd like to participate in the super chat program, and rather than just have reparations coffee, have some reparation for this black man, you can do that in the link in the chat. This show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. You will become a permanent part of this episode of the Morning Night Live, just like Black Hebrew Israelite, who is our first and top super chatter of the day. Thank you very much. I can always use the dollars. Anyway, all right. So, let's see. Maybe we'll do. Oh, this one annoys me. I gotta wonder what the hell is going on when I read this. So apparently, John Brennan, the former CIA director, somebody, I don't know if this is speculation or whatever, he's been told, now who knows who says he's been told this, but we'll find out in a second. He's been told that he is not a target of the Durham probe. Are you kidding me? I saw this headline. I haven't read it yet, so we're just going to do it together, right? We're going to do it together. We're going to read it together. Oh, bye, D.I. Freedom Watcher. How you have a great show and have a great Monday. Thank you so much. You have a great Monday, too. And be safe out there. John Brennan's not a target of the Durham probe. What the ever-loving F are we talking about here? Former CIA Director John Brennan is set to meet with the prosecutor investigating the origins of the Trump-Russia probe, though the Obama-era spy chief has been told he's not a target of the probe, according to reports. Oh! Okay, that explains it. That explains it. NBC News reported this week John Durham, the U.S. Attorney for Connecticut, asked to interview Brennan as a part of his investigation, a source familiar with the matter. Oh, yes. Yes, NBC always has a lot of sources familiar with the matter. Told NBC that Brennan agreed to be interviewed, and the two sides are working out a time to meet. According to NPR, Brennan has been told. NPR too. Yes, they are always accurate, always perfection. And they told Michael Flynn that he wasn't being investigated either. They told Donald Trump he wasn't being investigated either. So hey, maybe we'll get some Alinsky tactics here. Maybe that's some Alinsky tactics. According to NPR, Brennan has been told that he's not a target of Durham's investigation, which began in March 2019 as the special counsel's probe was winding down. Attorney General William Barr tapped Durham to conduct a sprawling review of the FBI, the CIA, and other agencies' investigative and intelligence gathering activities related to the Trump campaign and Russia. Durham's work has overlapped with a Justice Department Inspector General's investigation, which found that the FBI misled, as in they lied, to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court in an effort to obtain spy warrants against Carter Page and for a former Trump aide. The IG said the FBI withheld information that undermined the credibility of the Steele dossier, which investigators used in the applications for the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. Durham is also reportedly investigating intelligence community assessment development in late 2008 and intelligence community assessment developed in late 2016 that said Russian President Vladimir Putin meddled in the 2016 election, specifically to help Donald Trump win the presidency. Yeah. The New York Times. Oh, and the New York Times is also reporting on December 19th that Durham had requested Brennan's communications and other records as a part of his inquiry into CIA activities. Durham chased down other aspects of the Trump-Russia probe. He and Barr reportedly discussed Maltese professor Joseph Misfood with Italian intelligence officials during a trip to Rome last year. According to George Papadopoulos, a former Trump campaign advisor, Misfood told him in April 2016 that the Russian government had dirt on Hillary Clinton that they might release before the election later that year. And the FBI opened an investigation. Okay, this is all history now, so that's it. They're not... Okay, this headline is what pisses me off. He's been told he's not a target of the Durham probe. Of course, it's according to sources familiar with the matter. Those are always the most accurate and pristine sources you can find. Sources familiar with the matter are just this shy of a source who wished to remain anonymous. They're always just pristine and perfect sources. And there you go. All right, real quick, we're going to let's check the news. Let's check the live news that's happening right now as we speak. Figure out if there's anything going on in the world that somebody's going to be talking about later today. And there we'll go to Twitter and look at, more unrest. Unrest and looting take place in Chicago following a police-involved shooting. Oh, so the guy shoots at police. They shoot him. They don't kill him, just involves shooting. But then the people come out and say, he killed a child. He shot a child. Did your child shoot at the police? Child. And, it's funny because it's funny how they're always a child. This could be someone 25 years old. He shot a child. But when well, never mind. I just can't do it. Major explosion. Oh, this is news. This is live news. One person dead after a major explosion in Baltimore. This is not good. This is breaking news just 30 minutes ago. Baltimore firefighters union local 734 said on Monday that several houses exploded and at least 5 people are trapped after an explosion on Reisterstown Road. On Reisterstown Road, union officials confirmed that one person was pronounced dead at the scene and 2 victims were transported to the hospital in serious condition. So this is the live feed from NBC News. Wow, look at that. Like you can see this whole area up here. Let me full screen this real quick so you can see it a little better. This is not a good sight. Look at, holy shit, that is major. Looks like some row houses. But yeah, here's 5 buildings here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, that looks tragic. And this one's damaged. This building here is damaged too. Holy moly, that's not good. All right, come on, here we go. Let's see if there's anything else here. This is a major explosion with multiple people trapped. An area of 6,500 block. Several houses exploded. At least 5 people trapped. Some children. A collapse response and second alarm has been called. We are borderline mass casualty at this point. This explosion has affected at least a 3-block radius up here. 3 dwellings completely destroyed. It was a gas. Okay, so it says on the scene of a major gas explosion, 3 homes, 2 occupants transported in serious condition. 1 adult woman is deceased. So, yeah, man, if you're into praying for people who in a bad situation, this is definitely the time to do it. It looks very sad. Moving on, let's see if there's any other new news. So I'm going to finish with a funny video today that I found regarding cancel culture. So we'll get to that. Oh, why is Kim Fox trending? You know who Kim Fox is, right? She's the Chicago, what her name? State's attorney. Tribune reports Kim Fox drops more felony cases than her predecessor. But I wonder who dropped millions in campaign cash to help elect Kim Fox? Who endorsed her? Any politician? She, this is a Chicago Tribune story. Yeah, she, well, we know who her biggest benefactor is, okay? Her campaign got $400,000 from, is it Open Society or whatever? You know, the guy the guy who shall not be mentioned, a former collaborator with that entity that shall not be mentioned. So Kim Fox drops more felony cases as Cook County State's Attorney than her predecessor, according to Tribune analysis. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox is dropping felony cases involving charges of murder. She's dropping murder cases even. I guess that's some. Well, I don't know. You don't know I was going to say something about privilege, but we don't know. We just don't know. Oh, is this going to give me one of these? Okay, I guess this is a free article I get. I hope. Let's see. Is it going to get down here? Anyway, okay, so here it is. Here's the article. Fox dropping felony cases, including charges of murder and other serious offenses, at a higher rate than her predecessor, according to a Tribune analysis that comes amid growing debate over criminal justice reform. During Fox's first 3 years as county's top prosecutor, her office dropped all charges against 29% of felony defendants, a dramatic increase over her predecessor, the Tribune found. For the last 3 years of Anita Alvarez's tenure, the rate was 19.4%. So they dropped charges at almost 20% already. She upped that about 10%. In all, a total of 25,183 people had their felony cases dismissed under Fox through November 2019. Now, that's insanity to me. If you had, there had to be, oh my God. I wonder how many of these are violent crimes. You have charges because you charge people because you think you have a way to get them convicted. And she's dropping charges. Holy shit. Resignation of Lebanese government again after Beirut. Oh my goodness, we'll get in there too. Fox, a Democrat, swept into the state's attorney's office in 2016, vowing to reform the criminal justice system and reduce the population of Cook County Jail, which disproportionately holds low-income people of color. She is up for re-election in November. In an interview, Fox did not dispute the Tribune's findings, but said her office's higher rate of dropped felony cases gives an incomplete picture of her commitment to keeping the public safe. Wrong! She said her office has dismissed cases against low-level, non-violent offenders so prosecutors can concentrate on crimes of violence. Wait a minute. You're dropping more felony charges. So the felony charges had to be something. Now, maybe some were felony charges and often involve violence. Sometimes that based on the amount of damage or property stolen. So if it's over, say if it's over $3,000 or whatever, I'm giving you an arbitrary figure. It's different in different states. That could be a felony charge, or if it's a swindle charge, it could be a felony charge. If it's over, depending on the dollar amount of the crime. But I'm gonna guess most felony charges are assaults and whatever. God damn. It's always eye-opening to be able to look at our own data and compare it to my predecessor's past, Fox said. I can't reconcile what her decision-making was and how they chose to dismiss cases in the past, but I will say that this administration has been clear our focus would be on violent crime and making sure that our resources and attention would go to addressing violent crime. Oh, that's why she dropped Jussie Smollett's case. Anyway, however, the Tribune found that Fox's higher rate of dropped cases included people accused of murder, shooting another person, sex crimes, attacks on police officers, as well as serious drug offenses that for decades have driven much of Chicago's street violence. For the 3-year period analyzed, Fox's office dropped 8.1% of homicides compared to 5.3% under Alvarez. The Tribune found under Fox, the office dropped 9.5% of felony sex crimes cases That rate was 6.5 for Alvarez. So both are too high. I don't know. If you have the evidence, maybe they said they didn't have the evidence. I don't know. Fox's office also increased the rate of drop cases for aggravated battery and for aggravated battery with a firearm. And under Fox, the percentage of cases dropped for defense accused of aggravated battery of a police officer more than doubled. So they're dropping charges against. See, now there's your problem. You know what? Police are not perfect, but assaulting a police officer. Now, then again, who knows what that meant? I'm not going to get into it, but it seems like assaulting a police officer would be a crime that you'd be especially vigilant on, because if you're willing to assault a police officer, you're willing to assault a grandma. You're willing to assault anybody, because the police officer shoot your ass, and you're willing to assault them. So that means you don't give a fuck. You'll assault anybody. You need that idiot off the street. Anyway, this is crazy. That's Kim Fox. She's, you know what? I would have never heard of her. Well, I might have, but I would have never thought of thinking about her if it weren't for the Jussie Smollett case. Okay. But now, man, learning more about that crazy woman, I'm sorry. She's awful. I hope she loses. But, you know, Chicago is Chicago is Chicago. McDonald's sues former CEO over alleged sexual relationship with staff. That's breaking news. In legal documents filed Monday morning, McDonald's said an internal investigation found that Easterbrook lied about engaging in physical and sexual relationships with 3 employees a year before his firing, and lied and destroyed records to conceal his behavior. McDonald's cut tie with Easterbrook in November 2019 after the company's board determined that he had demonstrated poor judgment by engaging in a consensual sexual relationship with an employee. Okay. That's, what's his name? Something Easterbrook, Steve Easterbrook, who he was fired last fall. Okay. Mr. Easterbrook was getting some on the side. Now he's being sued. Let's see. Anything else pop out here? By the way, the Big Ten football season might be coming to a close before it even starts. Oh, God. Oh. Welcome to Twitter, where we are remembering Michael Brown 6 years after his death in Ferguson. Let's see if this is what is it called? Hagiography? When they make someone into a saint. Let's just, am I going to click this? Yeah, I'm going to click it. Oh my God. Here we go. Here we go. Buckle up, people. In memoriam, remembering Michael Brown 6 years after his death in Ferguson. The fatal police shooting of the 18-year-old Michael Brown on August 9, 2014, sparked nationwide protests against police brutality, which disproportionately affects black people. 6 years, now that's, so why did Twitter put that in there? That's editorializing. And yes, it does, in depending on the way you count it, yes, absolutely disproportionately affects black people. But there are many factors. But anyway, 6 years later, this is good. People are remembering the life of Michael Brown through tributes, memorials, and marches. Memorializing the life of Michael Brown. Well, he does have a mortarboard there, so he graduated from high school. But, today's Happy Epstein Sleeping with Fishes 1 year anniversary day. I don't know about Michael Brown. Boy. It is Epstein Day too? That's when he died. He killed himself. I'm sorry. Epstein didn't kill himself. It's Epstein Day too? I didn't know that they died on the same day. Here's a Story Corps. Story Corps, excuse me. That was a bad slip there. On August 9, 2014, Michael Brown Jr. was killed in Ferguson, Missouri by police officer Darren Wilson, sparking protests across the country. Michael Brown Jr.'s sisters, Trinity and Trinia, share memories of her brother. Yes, I'm sure that it was hard. We didn't talk to each other. It was just, oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
Everything, basically.
If I was feeling down or somebody had made me mad, he would just come to the rescue and talk to me about it.
Yes.
Or just give me a big hug.
A hug for him felt like death because he do not know how to stop squeezing.
He didn't.
What is your most cherished memory of Michael?
I would say his graduation day.
You know what?
Because
I'm going to stop right here.
Black men graduate high school, let alone go to college.
To see that smile on his face that, yay, I did it. I mean, we were just all like very excited.
Well, Michael Brown wasn't in college.
We were just talking. He was telling us how he was going to shake the world. He wanted to be
he shook the world, all right. He shook down a convenience store owner. I shouldn't be disrespectful of his sisters. His sisters loved him. Okay, that's great, and I'm glad that he had a great relationship with his sisters. But the whole thing is, I don't know. This is one of the ones I don't think they should be looking up to. Yes, look at what's his name? Scott, the guy who got killed in South Carolina. Yes, that was a terrible case. Even Philando Castile's probably wasn't a great shooter. Yes, I'll take Philando Castile. Philando Castile was a good man, even though he liked his pot. I'll tell you that. And we don't know. He was there. They thought he was a armed robbery suspect. He looked like an armed robbery suspect, but it's unfortunate. Even our man here, George Floyd. Okay, was George Floyd perfect? No, but that was a absolute fuck up by the officers who had no situational awareness. Okay, but I'm sorry, Michael Brown. Evidence, witnesses, trial, read the whole thing. Hands up, don't shoot was a myth, which came from the Michael Brown case. Witnesses saw him try to get Wilson's gun, reach in his car, gun went off in the car, forensic evidence, powder all in the car. Okay, witnesses saw Michael Brown go back and charge at Officer Wilson. Bad decisions cause bad things to happen sometimes, and it did in this case. Rest in peace, Michael Brown. But I'm sorry, it just isn't what it's made out to be. And then now they're talking about Dorian Johnson. Dorian Johnson's the guy who lied to the police, saying the hands up, don't shoot lie. And he sticks by his story. Of course, it's a Washington Post story, so it's going to be slanted in that way. 6 years ago today, Michael Brown was shot and killed by a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri, one of the pivotal events of our times. Here's my piece from last year, catching up with Dorian Johnson, one of the crucial witnesses. Now, Dorian Johnson, the hands up, don't shoot thing, that came from an interview he did. Now, Dorian Johnson was with him when they don't really, well, maybe they mentioned this article. I'm not going to read it. I'll read it later, maybe. Dorian Johnson was his accomplice. Okay? But Dorian Johnson did a interview with some TV station right after, and he said, yeah, he was over there, and he just standing there, and hands up, don't shoot, and people were saying he was shot in the back, which forensic evidence proves he wasn't. And, but this guy's gotten away with this lie, and they still protect this lie. And there are people who, so anyway, there were marches the day, it was yesterday. Let's see, a few more pics. Ferguson's newly elected first black mayor, Ella Jones, came and spoke at the memorial. Ferguson Police Chief Jason Armstrong spoke to the gathering crowd. Well, that's, you know what? I suppose that's a good thing that the chief of police did this. We do this for Mike Brown. Here's some pictures. You know what? Now, I'm going to give them some credit here. Everybody should get credit. And notice, it's all black people having a peaceful protest. That's a good thing. And there's police there. There's other people there. There's people there. The mayor's there to support. Okay? Good. That's good. That is fantastic. Regardless of what you think of the case, peaceful protests are where it's at. Hello, Slapper360. How you doing? So anyway, and then, yeah, CNN pushed that lie, the hands up, don't shoot lie. Everybody pushed that lie. Protest in Ferguson in front of the federal building in St. Louis. I don't know why there's a protest for the federal building. What does the federal building have anything to do with this case? Oh, because Eric Holder investigated this too, and they didn't find any misgivings about this case? Yeah, right? Explaining Michael Brown's impact on the Black Lives Matter movement. His name became a prayer, a battle cry, and a call to action. We took to the streets and didn't leave for more than 400 days. All eyes were on Ferguson for the longest continual protest in American history. Yeah, and then Sean King and DeRay McKesson came and took all the fucking credit. You got to listen to the Hoteps talk about this. They know all about this. There was a dude down there that actually was part of the trying to get things to happen down in there. I think he got killed. But anyway. And this, we miss you every day, single day, Mike. Why? You didn't know Michael Brown. Get out of here. Anyway, all right, let's finish. I'm going to finish up with a funny video here that I saw and call it a day because BLM's commie movement. Not in St. Louis, not originally. Some people came over and hijacked that movement, that protest. Some national figures came in and hijacked it and became the grievance grifters all came in. Darren Shields. That's not Darren Shields. Is that his name? Darren Shields, I think his name. Look up, I think it's Darren Shields. Let me look that up. You got to listen. Darren Shields. Is that his name? St. Louis? I should put St. Louis too. I can't remember what his name is. Nope, that's Darren Wilson. Something Shield. I'll get the name another time. But the original protest down there, and one of the guys who was trying to make it about Mike Brown and not about the burning and looting and all that, and about making actual changes in their system there, kind of got pushed aside by these national grievance grifters who came in and started raising money, and then the money never, Sean King, no one knew where his money went. DeRay McKesson, and now I think maybe DeRay wasn't as bad as Sean King as far as that grievance grifting goes, but still, he came up in there, and the local people were like, "Who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out of here!" And it didn't work out for the actual people who were there to protest. But I got to step away from that idea real quick. Let me finish up with this video because I think it's just hilarious. And if you haven't seen this, you should have seen it. This is a video called Brands That Need to Be Canceled Immediately, because we know they're canceling Aunt Jemima, right? And this is someone named John B. Christ, and if he asks to monetize my video, that's fine. He can. I don't care. If he wants to do the copyright thing, go ahead and make some money off my video because you earned it, sir. This is a funny freaking video. So we're just going to watch this to close the show. Here we go. It's a little long, but it's funny, so it's worth it. It's 3 minutes something long. Here we go.
We got rid of Aunt Jemima. We got rid of Uncle Ben's. But I am wildly triggered by the brands and the photos that I see in this grocery store. Using a polar bear to sell your ice cream, Klondike. Polar bears were extinct. No, thank you. Canceled. Paw Patrol mac and cheese. Listen, defund the police.
Paw Patrol.
Defund Paw Patrol. V8.
How dare you?
What kind of emissions an engine like that puts out into the environment? I drive a Prius, and that is canceled. Okay, I don't exactly know who this guy is, but I don't like his look at all. I don't like anything that this guy stands for.
He's white privilege. Quaker Oats.
Brown rice. Why they gotta be separated? Think about it.
That's racist!
Ben, that's right. Absolutely offended by that. Listen, do I know any minorities myself? No, I don't, but I feel very confident speaking on their behalf on the internet. Hola, Tapatio. Una pregunta. You ever heard of cultural appropriation? Canceled. Oh, look at there. It's a woman leading a cow against
There's
its
a milk
will
joke there somewhere.
to the slaughter, selling popsicles shaped as bullets.
Damn!
Wow, absolutely.
Who thought of that
Blue
idea?
Ribbon. Everyone's a winner. Thank you. That is the only brand of ice cream I will support. Rebel ice cream. Wow, why don't you just change this to Soldier in the Confederate Army ice cream?
Surprised it didn't have a Confederate flag on it.
Red Baron. Red Baron is a fighter pilot in the German Air Force in World War I. Seems extremely anti-Semitic. Orville Redenbacher, look at this guy. He definitely made some mistakes in his past. Do you want to cancel him? We can if we want. I'll look up some mistakes that he made in his past and we can cancel him. I need to appease my white guilt by virtue signaling on the internet. The Keebler Elves. Isn't that cute? Well, it's 2020. They're called little people. Canceled. Tombstone. What stands on top of a tombstone? A statue. Tear them all down.
Whoa, what the hell happened there? Motherfucker. That's weird. I didn't, what the hell happened?
Tear them all down.
Okay, there we go.
Canceled. Ezekiel bread, as described in the Holy Scriptures.
Biblical
Offensive
bread?
to atheists? Canceled immediately. Oh, little Debbie. Why does she have to have red hair? Offensive to gingers.
How many Swiss people have red
Granny
hair?
Smith, you ever heard of,
Those are
I don't
Swiss
know,
rolls.
ageism? Canceled. What do we have here? Country gravy, $7.58. Brown gravy,
Oh, the white gravy's worth less than
I'm
the black
just saying,
gravy's worth
think
brown
about
gravy
Tupac.
less than the brown.
You ever heard any of his lyrics?
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Very violent.
Tupac!
Support spam, add them to the list. Canceled. It's 2020 and Oreo is still separating the light and the dark. You know who's out here solving racism in a Walmart? Duplex. 1850. You know what those dates are? Pre-Civil War. You know another term that means pre-Civil War? Antebellum. That's right. Just like the band, that brand is canceled. Oh, super fun. Barnum and Bailey's animal cruelty crackers. Canceled. A woman carrying salt alone in the rain. Absolutely
Dude is killing
not.
me
Just
here.
looked up the definition of minion. 1, an underling or follower of a powerful person. 2, a servant. Canceled. If the Dixie Chicks are canceled,
By the way,
so are these.
I'm putting a
plates.
link to
There
this
are
video in the chat if you
thousands
want to
of
watch
products
it
in this
again.
grocery store, and if I consume any of them, I also support the political and moral choices of everyone involved in that company, which makes literally no sense, but it's 2020 and here we are. Wheat thins. I don't think so. Another impossible standard for
Fat
women to
shaming.
live up to. Let's get some wheat thicks up here and then we'll talk. I love Lizzo. Okay, now we're in the cleaning aisle. We got 2 dish scrubbers with hands with fingernail polish on them. Why do the women always have to do the dishes? Canceled. Arm and Hammer seems very oppressive. Hey, Rice Krispie treats, why don't you try some diversity? White. Canceled. Megan Rapinoe on the Cliff Bar. Thank you. Gender wage gap finally solved. Oh, what's that? And this doesn't mean anything at all, and we still have real problems that we need to address. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
I know what Little Debbie's are. All right, that's I know what Little Debbie's are. I was a Little Debbie's aficionado when I was a kid. I love me some Little Debbie's. Anyway, that's hilarious. I'd eat some wheat thicks. I would definitely eat some wheat thicks. And so it's Sapphire Dragon. There you go. I'd eat me some wheat thicks. All right. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining today on the Morning Night Live. A little comedy to finish out. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT. For those of you who are not in the United States and don't deal with our time zones and our daylight savings times and all that bullshit. But anyway, and if you like what we do, you need to hit that like button on the way out the door because, you know, you like me. You really like me. And if you want to do a little something more substantial to help the show, share the stream, share the show after the fact, donations through Streamlabs, and also a Venmo or what's the other one? Cash App. I have those down there in the chat if you prefer using those. Ooh, whoa, I need some food. I didn't eat breakfast before the show today. And then finally, if you're watching the show after the fact on replay, throw a comment down in the comment section so that I know you were here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. I gotta go. My name's PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Watch the outro. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.